First game on the list this month is Fuji. Fuji is honestly the most adorable, friendly and cute VR experience I've seen in a while, and most excitingly it's also coming to the Oculus Quest. Fuji is a game where you explore lush fantasy gardens and tend to plants with water and music and do all sorts of adorable cute things. It's all accompanied by a really great relaxing soundtrack, and I think it's going to be a very special experience. It's currently out on PC VR and on the Oculus Quest. Next up on the list is Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, which, if you've watched the last video, was also on there. That's because I made a mistake and thought it was coming out in June, while it was actually coming out in July. But in Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, you can take control of a giant Nazi mech dog to aid the French resistance a little bit after World War II. Players will be able to use the dog to shoot, burn, bash, and stomp their way to freedom through the streets of Paris, leaving a sea of Nazi corpses in their wake. Wolfenstein Cyberpilot is set to release on July 26th on PC VR and PlayStation VR. At number 3 we have Rogan, the Thief in the Castle, which I'll just call Rogan. Rogan is a VR medieval stealth game where you are a thief breaking into a castle, where you stumble upon various things happening that drive the story, which carry the game a bit around. The game is very much focused around stealth and hiding instead of combat, because the guards you're fighting against are much stronger than you, so you'll have to be very, very sneaky. Sound is also very important in this game, which is pretty interesting, because the speed of how you do your actions, like how fast you open a door, impacts how loud that happens, which is a pretty interesting mechanic in my opinion. Rogan, the Thief in the Castle is coming July 5th on PC VR. Next up we have SPIDERMAN Far From Home Virtual Reality, which is a little demo game for the upcoming Spider-Man movie, which I am personally pretty excited about, because who doesn't love Spider-Man? And also there's a severe lack of good Spider-Man games in VR, while the mechanic of web swinging between buildings and flying around doing crazy moves really lends itself exceptionally well for virtual reality, especially with the type of hand controllers we have now, and this game definitely proves how good it can be. You'll be able to swing around, there's multiple things with combat, you can do racing, and there's also a pretty big free-roam world to just mess around in and practice your web swinging skills. And the best part about all this is that it's completely free. You can download this game right now on PC VR and PlayStation VR. At number 5 this week we have Aperture Hand Lab, which is another bit of demo software. It's actually for people who have bought the Valve Index. It's a little demo game set in the Portal universe to demonstrate the amazing new hand movement with the index controllers, where you can move your individual fingers. So you can, for instance, play rock, paper, scissors with a robot and give him the finger afterwards, because that was inevitable, that was definitely going to happen sometime. But yeah, this is very interesting tech. Sadly, it's very far out of my budget as of right now, but the game isn't, because that is also free. It's out now for the Index, and if you just want to play the game without the hand movement, it also works on the HTC Vive. And at number 6 we have something I am very excited about. This is Sairento Unthethered on the Oculus Quest. If you don't know, Sairento is a crazy ninja, over-the-top Kill Bill shooter game where you can do all sorts of crazy air dodges and you can chop people up with katanas in slow motion, and it's all actually really cool, and it really is based around fast movement, and the lack of wires with the Quest and being able to do everything in 360 really adds a lot to this game. So that's really great, and you know, it's on the Quest, which is amazing because it needs more games. Sairento Unthethered is out now on Oculus Quest. Another game that is coming to the Oculus Quest is Richie's Plank Experience, which is a good old beginning phase VR game, which is still really fun to show off VR to friends and family and scare the crap out of them by having them walk over a tiny plank above something very high. Fun experience. Somehow you can also fly around in the game as well now as Iron Man, which that development I did not pick up on, but that's also pretty cool. Sadly, it is a bit expensive for what is basically a very fleshed out tech demo. And not really a game, but it is also out now on the Oculus Quest, so you can take your traumatic falling experiences with you wherever you go. At number 8 we have a very different game, Penn and Teller VR Frankly Unfair, Unkind, Unnecessary and Underhanded, which I'll just call Penn and Teller because I'm very lazy, is a virtual reality magic show experience, which is a bit different. to be sure. It lets you play pranks on your unknowing friends by giving you control over what happens inside the headset while they are wearing the headset, which I think is using VR in a very creative way and is pushing some boundaries here between the people outside and in the headset, which I think can be very cool. If you're very lonely and don't have any friends to try this with, there's also single player experiences where you can get sawn in half and multiple magic tricks. It is currently out on PC VR, Oculus Quest and PlayStation VR. The second to last entry on our list is Ninja Legends. Ninja Legends is a melee fighting game where you will be able to use multiple weapons such as sword, knives, shurikens and staves to fight a variety of ninja themed enemies in full 360-degree combat, which will be a pretty exciting experience and also a very tiring experience, and I can also imagine plenty of walls and furniture being smashed with this, but it looks very interesting and also has a very interesting slicing mechanics where you can literally slice your enemies in multiple parts like you can do in, for instance, the Kill Bill movies or movies like that, which is pretty cool to see. I really hope to see this game on Quest because anything that uses 360-degree tracking perfectly is something I like to see on the Oculus Quest. It is releasing somewhere in July 2019, for now only on PC VR. The last game this month is Node. Node is a procedurally generated roguelike shooter in virtual reality, of course. I thought the game features some very interesting looking art that has some really weird, strange locations and enemies. Yeah, the combat is pretty simple, but it's fun looking. I can imagine if the procedural generation works well, the enemies are fun, it's plenty difficult. I can imagine this actually being a pretty fun and challenging little VR experience. It's releasing July 22nd, for now only on PC VR.